Hey everyone, welcome to another session of Coaching Question of the Month. I'm Daylon and I'm the founder of Curious Core. We now have our own hoodies and our own t-shirt, so you might notice the new brand. Hope you like it. And this month we have a set of questions for you, especially for those of you who are struggling to make that transition from your old profession to a new career in UX design. So this set of questions are especially relevant if you've been keeping track of the numbers depending on the number of job applications you're making, as well as the number of job offers you're getting. Okay, so this set of coaching question comes with 4 questions. The first question is this: what is the number of job applications you have made in the last 3 months? Okay, that's the first question. And it is going to give you a number in this case. The second question is, how many first interviews have you gotten in the last 3 months? That's also going to give you a number and a slightly smaller number in this case. Now the third question is this: how many final interviews or design exercises have you gotten in the last 3 months? Right? This is usually with the hiring managers, such as your UX manager or your product design lead in this case. So how many, and that number is smaller than the last 2 numbers from before. Now the last question is this: how many job offers have you received in the last 3 months? Okay, and this will be an even smaller number. Now, let me give you the thinking behind these set of questions. And the first question diagnoses a particular problem, right? It diagnoses whether you have actually sent out enough applications. A very common problem I see with a lot of my students, as well as UX designers or to-be UX designers, is this: they send out 10 job applications in the last 3 months and they expect a job offer. Well, obviously 10 job applications is not going to lead to one job offer unless you have a very solid portfolio or unless you are already someone who has UX design experience. So that number shouldn't be 10. It should at least be a 20 to a 25 job applications in the last 3 months. And please do not only rely on sending out job applications as part of your career strategy. You should also consider thinking about reaching out to people and talking to people over on LinkedIn or even ADP lists, right? So that's the first question. The second question diagnoses a different problem. So let's say you have been sending out a lot of applications, but you're only receiving very few first interviews. Well, the problem is this: it means that your CV or your portfolio has problems. It could either mean that your CV is not tailored to a UX design role, or it could mean that your portfolio seems like a Me Too portfolio. What is a Me Too portfolio? A Me Too portfolio is where a lot of these UX bootcamp graduates, when they graduate from a program, they do the same case study from the class and they just have Me Too case studies and they write the case study in the same way. They just change the colors, but it's pretty much the same across the board. Now these Me Too portfolios, if I'm the hiring manager and I'm receiving it, it's very obvious to me that it came from a bootcamp, it came from the same class and the same case study. It's not going to differentiate you very well. It's not going to put you in a positive light or position. So Me Too portfolios are to be avoided, right? And how do we fix a Me Too portfolio? Well, there are 2 ways of fixing it. Number 1, you could consider doing your own projects, meaning you could do a freelance project or come to a program like ours. Our 4-month UX Career Accelerator allows you to do 3 real client projects. So that could be one possibility. The second possibility is for you to actually write your case study in a different way, right? And not follow the format that's been given to you by your instructor and try and write it in a way whereby it shows your mastery and your understanding of the topic and the subject itself. So that's a second possibility. Now, once you fix the portfolio, once you fix the CV, and you start sending out more job applications, you should see an improvement in the number of first interviews. And then it comes to the third question, right? How many final interviews are you receiving? Now, if you have a decent number of first interviews, say a handful of them, but you're not getting into the final interviews, right? Not even one or not even two final interviews, that means there's actually an issue with your interviewing skills. It means you're not presenting or communicating yourself well as a candidate that wants to transition into UX design. One of the most common questions interviewers will first ask you is, why do you want to transition into this field? And if you don't have a good answer for that, and if you have sort of another Me Too answer for that, that is actually going to pose a problem. Because when the interviewer can't sense that you're passionate about this field, they're not going to be willing to take the risk and put you in front of the hiring manager or even give you the opportunity to make that transition. So that's something you have to think about, a very good story and a very good reason why they should give you the opportunity to do the interview and to continue this interview process until you secure a job offer. So the third question diagnoses whether you have a problem with communicating and presenting yourself. Now, the number for the fourth question, right? How many job offers have you received? If let's say you have received 4 design exercises or 5 design exercises and gone to 4 or 5 interviews, but you received no job offers. Well, what does that mean? That means you have a culture fit problem, meaning the team that is assessing you and evaluating you feels that you're not a good fit, there's no good chemistry, you're not a good team member to add to the team, or that job might have much stronger and much more experienced candidates in applying the job. So that's actually a pretty common issue with top jobs from companies like Grab, from companies like Google, for example, which is why I don't encourage my students as their first job to apply for these big tech companies, because these big tech companies can hire the most experienced people and they don't mind paying. It's much better to join an agency or to join an SME or a startup that's willing to invest in you and is willing to have a good UX manager there to mentor you. I think that's way more valuable for the initial part of your career than joining one of these big names. But of course, if you can join one of these big names and they are also willing to invest in you, I think that is a bonus. Okay, so if you have these 4 questions answered, that is excellent. If you don't have the numbers to these 4 questions, just look back at the number of applications you have made and just give it a count, and feel free to drop down the 4 numbers below in the comment section. And if you need my help to further diagnose it, please drop a comment, and also like your portfolio link in the comment below, and I'll try my best to help you over here. Okay, but I hope this self-diagnosis question, a set of self-diagnosis questions, could help you with your career transition. And I wish you all the best in transitioning to a career that you feel motivated and desire, and also feel like you could use both your left brain and your right brain and actually work in this growing and booming tech sector. Okay, my name is Daylon, and if you love our videos, feel free to continue. Click the subscribe button below, and I'll see you next month in our another session of Coaching Question of the Month. See you and ciao.